Hi and welcome to Dr. Mix. Today we're going to talk about mixing preparation. Number 1, renaming your tracks. You know how often the files are named pad 21 dark audio /BIP or anything like that. That's a very long name. You don't need such a long name. You just need to know pad 1, pad 2, pad 3, or whatever. What I'm suggesting here is that you use a short name instead of a long one so that you can easily spot it when you're scrolling through tracks. Personally, I like to call the bass drum BD or kick. Snare drum can be SD. Then you can have Tom 1, Tom 2, Tom 3. Find your own naming scheme so that when you're mixing, at a glance, you can know exactly what you're working on. Number 2, color coding. Especially if you're working with a lot of tracks, it can be a little bit confusing if you don't use color coding. So for example, I like my drums to be red. Kick drum, snare drum, hi-hat, and all of that, everything in red. For the percussion, I might have a different shade of red. Lead vocals, I like purple. Backing vocals, I like yellow. Bass, blue. Keyboards, green. Guitars, I don't know, maybe a different shade of green. Horns, brown. You can choose your own color scheme. If you use a consistent color scheme, it will be so easy to navigate through your arrangement and you will save lots of time. Number 3, gain staging. You want to make sure that you always are at the correct level when working on a mix. What we generally suggest is that you tweak the gain of each channel in order for the master bus to hit not above -12 dB. That is a great starting point because it means that you can keep on mixing, and even if you grow a little bit with the volume, you're never gonna clip, and also your gear or plugin will react better to a little bit more conservative levels. Avoid clipping like the plague, but also avoid going too loud into plugins. You might find little differences, but as a general rule, keeping those levels way below the clipping point is a good idea. Number 4, filtering. Filter the low end out of tracks where the low end is not relevant, like keyboards, percussion, maybe pads, and just let the low end from the kick drum and the bass flow. You might have some synthesizers that have an important bass function. Well, you can do without filtering those. Otherwise, just take that low end out of stuff that you don't need the low end from. Number 5, do your bus routing. We've been talking about this before. We have a few articles about it. If you go to drmix.com/blog and you search in the search bar and you look for bus routing, you will find a lot of information. But in a nutshell, have all sections divided. Drums, its own bus. Bass, its own bus. Keyboards, its own bus. Guitars, its own bus. If you divide the mix into different buses, it's easier to automate, you can apply more compression, and you can have better control of your sound. Trust me. If you want to know more about these techniques, you can try with our official guide to mixing, a video course in 24 lessons where you can learn all about what I've just talked about, see it in action performed here at Dr. Mix Studios. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us some big thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, and see you next time.